As autumn begins, the temperature drops, leaves start to fall, and landowners must take the proper precautions to prepare for the colder months. Crop growth falls naturally as temperatures drop after harvest in the fall. Factors such as moisture levels and when the first frost or snow occurs can heavily influence the outcomes of crops. Naturally, temperatures and sun exposure affect different crops in various ways, so understanding each plant's optimal conditions for growth and reproduction alter their abilities to thrive in the fall and winter. Fall and winter also signal a shift in pasture management practices as grass growth declines. This change in production can affect livestock's feeding habits, so switching to supplement feed options is often the best practice for farmers. Closely follow the recommended pasture rotation and stock rates for your land to prevent overgrazing and long-term damage to pastures and plains. The moisture in soil expands when it's cold, which can cause a lot of damage to crops, sidewalks, and other infrastructure. A frost layer, the outer layer of soil with water that becomes frozen, can be harmful, yet it's easily manageable. Additional organic matter like leaves, mulch, or compost can prevent this by adding a blanket to protect the ground. If your area sees a lot of snow, a snow blanket can also act as an insulator for the soil, covering it completely and preventing heat and moisture from getting out. If forests or woodlands are on your property, autumn is a critical time to manage these grounds. Fallen leaves, increases in moisture, and seasonal pests can cause extreme issues to your forest or tree's health. Thinning the trees, managing the underbrush, and removing dead plants can dramatically improve the woodland's regeneration abilities, allowing forests to prosper in the winter. Fall is prime hunting season, requiring more careful consideration from recreational and hunting property landowners. The cooler weather changes the behavior of wildlife, especially deer, turkey, and other game, as they are more active during the day to prepare for the coming winter. Ensure your land is ready for hunts by strategically placing food plots and habitats throughout your acreage, attracting more life and enhancing your hunting prospects. Cold weather, snow, rain, and wind can all have dramatic impacts on livestock's quality of life, so make sure you build and provide appropriate shelter. Stall barns, chicken coops, metal barns, or even loose housing are all viable options, depending on your livestock and climate. During the early days of fall, make sure all structures are insulated, restored, and well maintained to last through the winter. Adjust feeding schedules for your livestock in the winter to better support their nutrition and body temperature. Consult your veterinarian to determine what levels are appropriate for your particular livestock species and weather habits. A lot of times, cattle, horses, sheep, and other cloven animals, as well as poultry, require more food compared to summer months. Your water sources, like lakes, ponds, and streams, may freeze or drop in temperature, hindering your livestock's ability to obtain enough hydration to keep them healthy through the winter. If you solely rely on live and natural water sources, provide an alternative resource that won't be affected by the cold air, or frequently check the source to ensure it doesn't get too cold or freeze over. Livestock regulate temperatures very differently from humans. Cattle tolerate cold weather conditions relatively well, but still react negatively to too wet or windy weather. Identifying weather stress in your livestock's behavior and appearance early on is key to keeping them happy and healthy. Signs of weather stress include changes in eating patterns, lethargy, shivering, and other odd behaviors. Preparing your land and livestock for the challenges of fall can reduce risks and damages to your property, ensuring your assets deliver a productive winter. Here are some best practices for landowners preparing for fall. Assess your land by walking or driving around before the cold weather sets in. Track your acreage to identify any areas of concern such as erosion, damaged fencing, structure issues, dead plant debris, and areas needing mulching. Stock up on supplies for yourself, your crops, and your livestock before snowfall or winter winds begin. Whether it's feed, medical supplies, mulch, or water, make sure you are well prepared for any scenario if big snows and sub-zero temperatures are common in your area. Unpredictable and extreme weather can make it difficult to access supplies quickly, especially in more rural regions. Fall and winter weather can present challenging times for landowners, farmers, and ranchers. From drastic temperature changes to unpredictable snowstorms, these cold seasons demand careful preparation and adaptation to prevent damage to livestock and land assets. Investing in land has a long list of personal and professional benefits, so protecting it from damage is critical to a prosperous future. Thanks for watching. We're United Country Real Estate, your experts on all things land. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe. Thanks again, and stay tuned for our next video.